She was known as the most forgetful woman in town. Over a dozen men had abandoned her throughout her life, yet every day she still faced the world with a smile. Strangely, though she was 35 and had never been married, she somehow had a daughter. At 16, Nikoko first stepped into society. She fell in love with a card dealer at a tavern, but not long after, he was caught cheating at work. He vanished overnight, leaving Nikoko with a mountain of debt. It took her 11 years of hard labor to pay it off. Even after that crushing blow, Nikoko remained cheerful. She soon fell for a restaurant waiter who claimed to be a hard-working student. In truth, he used Nikoko's money to spend on other women. By the time she discovered the truth, he had already cycled through 8 girlfriends. At 30, Nikoko moved to a new home, determined to start over. But once again, she fell for the wrong man, this time, a married one. He constantly borrowed money, claiming he needed to pay divorce settlements. At first, it was $500,000, then more and more, until it reached $3 million. Just when Nikoko decided to confront him, she saw a stroller outside his house. Her anger dissolved into pity. She couldn't bring herself to hurt a child, even if it meant hurting herself. At 33, she met the last man in her life. He claimed to be a novelist and bought stacks of books with Nikoko's money. He never wrote a single word, but at least he didn't chase other women. For that reason, Nikoko treated him kindly. Her daughter, Kikuko, loved reading the books he collected. For a time, it seemed like the three of them could build a life together. Then, one day, he vanished. All he left was a note: "I will die in my hometown." Terrified, Nikoko grabbed 8-year-old Kikuko and took a train to his village. Snow fell heavily that day as she knocked on door after door, asking strangers for answers. The rumors spread quickly, but no one knew where he had gone. By 35, Nikoko was exhausted. She decided to stay in that coastal town. The locals didn't know where she came from, but they loved her sunny personality. Rosa, a kind man, rented a boat to her and Kikuko at a very low price and gave Nikoko a job at his barbecue shop. From then on, their lives became ordinary. Nikoko worked in the mornings while Kikuko went to school. They no longer drifted from place to place, but as time passed, Kikuko began to notice something strange. She didn't look anything like Nikoko. Their appearances were completely different. Nikoko snored like a giant creature when she slept, ate messily, and was often careless in her chores. Kikuko could hardly find a single resemblance between them. Yet she didn't dare dwell on it, because Nikoko was so good to her. Even on nights when she collapsed from exhaustion, Nikoko always hand-washed Kikuko's clothes first. In return, Kikuko would cook spaghetti with meat sauce for her mother. A simple meal, but it made them both feel happy. At school, things were less simple. During lunch breaks, the girls began playing ball games. It should have been fun, but the class leader always formed cliques, leaving Maria, the shyest girl, isolated. Even students who didn't play would gather to cheer, leaving Maria humiliated. Kikuko was Maria's only friend, and every afternoon Maria would complain on their way home, hoping Kikuko would take her side. Then came the 3 boys. 2 openly liked Maria and often waited for her at the bridge. The third, Ninomiya, was strange. With his long bangs covering half his face, he would secretly make funny faces whenever Kikuko saw him, sparking her curiosity. The next day, Kikuko ran into trouble. Maria and several girls cornered her in the bathroom. They wanted her to join their team to stand against the class leader. Kikuko didn't want to cause trouble, and on Nikoko's advice, she politely refused. But that only fueled the class divisions. Maria stopped walking home with Kikuko and even spread rumors about her. No one expected how it would end. Eventually, the girls returned to playing with Kikuko again. At the summer festival, everyone stuck together except Maria, who stood alone. Kikuko felt a pang of sadness seeing her like that, but what hurt Kikuko more was seeing Nikoko slipping back into her old ways. At the festival, Nikoko had a bit to drink and was laughing loudly with the man running the barbecue stand. When the new school term began, the class returned to its old social